Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
After a fantastic meeting at the Hockenheim Ring 2 weeks ago, we have crossed the pond and we're over in America, at Road America at Elkhart Lake for meeting 3, rounds 5 and 6 of the championship in season 7 of the iRacing Israel League. Welcome back to Apex Racing TV, everybody. Dane Baird here with Tim Cox alongside in commentary and John Robertson up in the production booth. And Tim, fantastic racing that we saw at Hockenheimring, Road America probably a circuit where we can see a bit more of that.
Most certainly, Dane. This 640-acre park-like ground offers amazing viewing opportunities for fans, but we get to view it from the TV angles as the touring cars head to the track. It's 4 miles in length, and it's going to provide us with 4 miles of frantic action, 4 miles of chaos, 4 miles of excitement, 4 miles of drama. I can't wait for this one to begin, Dane. It's just going to be epic. Plenty of big braking opportunities into turns 1, turns 5, potentially even a bit of a go into Canada Corner. We're just seeing Cheshire just coming up to that right now. So plenty of overtaking opportunity, plenty of slipstreaming. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, definitely, and these touring cars have certainly proven themselves over the last couple of races that we've seen. Love these things, the front wheel drive, and you can really send these things around the corner. You can go side by side, make a bit of contact, as we saw Reuven do one too many times last time out. He was on a charge, starting from 10th place, won the first race, reverse grid, 10th place on the grid for the second one. Got a pretty good first couple of laps under his belt, gets himself up into third, and as he's battling for second place, got disqualified for just one too many incident points over that 17x limit. So a bit of a controversial end to the last race that we had, but hasn't phased him one bit because he's right on top of the qualifying standings with a 2 minute 20.5, and the next closest is Reem Gross in the 44 with a 2 minute 20.9. After that though, very close, Alain Day just behind in third, and then Malkov as well, only separated by about 0.06 of a second.
It's going to be, it is incredibly close, and I'm sure we're going to see lots of wheel-to-wheel action, plenty of door banging, where these drivers are just so evenly matched, Dane. I mean, just looking up and down the field, each position is separated by around about a tenth, incredibly slim margins. That can mean that you can either move up the grid very quickly if there's an incident. Equally, you can lose a lot of places very quickly. It's ultra competitive, and I think Road America is just going to accentuate the competitiveness and the closeness and the action that we've seen so far this season.
Just saw Svi Lachette get unceremoniously booted off the circuit as the 10-minute qualifying session reached its end. We're going to get ready to grid for the first race of tonight. Then we'll see how the drivers fare down a pretty narrow main straight here at Road America. It's not very wide, and it does make its way through into turn 1 with walls close on either side, so very often we'll see chaos into that first corner. Here's the grid on the screen, and Reuven Chachas really, as we said, on pole position by around 3.5 tenths ahead of Reem Gross. Then 3-time Euro NASCAR champion Alain Day in third, Yaroslav Malkov in fourth. Those three, second, third, and fourth, very close together on pace. Yossi Gabay in fifth. Michael Schurling rejoins the series in a sixth position. And then the first of the amateur drivers, Mark Zubarev, in 7th place overall. Nadav Yaron in 8th place. And then rounding out the 5th row of the grid, the top 10, Ilan Sher and Nir Mizrahi in 9th and 10th. Ido Isaac in 11th, Toma Ventura in 12th. And then the next driver, Michael Simon, 2 seconds off pole in 13th. Dmitry Shakirov in 14th. Then we've got Bertie Galili in 15th. Really Sir in 16th. Draw last, and Talstern rounding out row 9. Before we see Ofer Mazes and John Chico. John Chico not setting a time in qualifying, neither did Amim Eshalam or Salui either. Those two drivers we've seen very quick in the past, so they'll be looking to make their way up through the grid, that's for sure. And as we saw, Svi Lachette's not able to finish a lap either in qualifying. Starts 23rd on the grid, and look at that. That is a full grid up at the front. Look at that. Massive amounts of cars on the grid, and it should be an interesting one. That wall on the inside with the pit wall, very close to the circuit, and it does cause some bottlenecks.
It does indeed. It's going to be tricky for the drivers right at the back of the grid, Dane, because this start straight does slope downwards, but it's even more so for the people right at the back, as Shilly having a little bit of a blink there. Ooh, has he disappeared?
I think there's been a bit of a technical issue there because his wheels going all over the place. And we're going to get green for the first time here at Road America. And what a start from second place on the grid after the pole position man blinked out. And it's Alon Day up the inside. And he's going to make his way up into the front of the field as they make their way down and towards turn number 1. He's already ahead into the braking zone. And then Alon Day is going to lead them through the first corner. Reem Gross just in second place. And then in third, a couple more high-end eyes as well. It's a high-end eye 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Before you see the first Audi. That's the 84 car of Nir Mizrahi, currently now up to 7th place as well as he sends up the inside in towards turn number 2, through turn number 3 they go, and underneath the cheese bridge as they make their way down the straight now, heading down towards turn number 5. Here's Alon Day defending the inside line. Reem Gross are going to have to go all the way around the outside if he wants to make it past into the lead of the race on lap number 1. He's not going to be able to do so. Alon Day defending that inside line very well, and it's going to remain mostly the same as they make their way down through the field all the way through turn 5. It's going to be side by side a bit further back though.
I've got away really, really cleanly here. It looks like everyone's got away fine so far. We've had one bit of an incident. Michelin and Zur have both they've headed to the pits. Seeing the two Hondas having a bit of a scrap there. There's Isaac and Chico there. A bit of a tussle in what is standard touring car fashion. Is all just off the track there. I think it was that Isaac just off the track there, running a bit wide, and it cost him so dearly. Mentioned about it before, Dane, that if you come off the track very early on, then you lose a whole ton of places. And there we go. The Honda Civic Type R of Isaac, almost rally crossing there. And that's pushed him right down to pretty much the back of the field, Dane. Not the best opening lap that he could have hoped for.
No, definitely not, unfortunately. And as they make their way down in towards Canada Corner here, this is one of the other braking zones, heavy braking zones on the circuit that can be good for overtaking, especially if the driver in front of you makes a mistake in the carousel, which is so easy to do. Make a mistake there, and there's a long run through the kink as well, and then all the way down to Canada Corner. A little bit of contact being made in the background. Not sure if that was between cars or just cars hitting the circuit as they make their way through. Very bumpy part of the circuit at the end. And here's Reem Gross having to defend all the way up against the pit wall because Yaroslav Malkov is there on the outside. And they're going to go side by side in towards turn number 1. Round the outside, swooping move. Is he going to get it stopped on time and get it to stick on the track? He is. What a move from Yaroslav Malkov to move up into second place. Is there going to be a response straight away from Reem Gross? The smart thing to do would be wait for turn number 5, because after that there's not really much of a response until the next time you go up towards Canada Corner. That would be the smart thing. Only a couple car lengths separating them now as they make their way under the cheese bridge again. And this is the next braking opportunity down the hill.
A little bit surprised that he hasn't managed to pick up the slipstream, really utilise that. Malkov has, well, in spectacular fashion, as we saw, round the outside at turn 1 and then kept on that position. Rather surprising, one might have to yield that one as we just see Yaron just passing Mizrahi there. These two, well, they're still not over. Definitely as the Audi there on the inside of Mizrahi, just about keeping ahead as they make contact. They're still going down. They're still side by side.
Oh, he just about cuts the nose off, but here comes the Honda just behind. We'll see now. It's Skirov. Dmitry Skirov now, and he's making his way up. He's on the inside of the carousel. Once you're on the inside of the carousel, especially in these touring cars, there is no chance for the driver on the outside. They're just going to drop back. Michael Simon just behind as well. He's going to have a look in the Honda there, but Skirov now very much in front in that 888. We'll see if he can hold on, and it looks like, yeah, he's definitely going to be able to hold on. Probably not enough space for a lunge in towards Canada Corner just yet. A little bit further back there might be, though, as Stern and Ventura separated by about 0.5 of a second. It's going to be a bit of a lunge just behind. It's the Audi. A bit of contact was made as well. Bit of a panic on the brakes for Michael Simon. He's going to be dropping back, and they are going to go side by side through this part of the circuit. Eventually, somebody's backed right out of that one. I think that might be Bertie Galili. He's just completely backed out of it. And, yeah, made his way to the back of that field. They're single file once again. They're not single file out in front, though. Yaroslav Malkov, he's not happy with second place. He wants the lead.
as he's heading around. Well, he's made it work once already. Into turn one, round the outside. Here we go. Can he make history repeat himself? Well, no, he can't. Just has to back out of it. But Gross is now on the attack. Malkov leaving himself vulnerable from that compromised line. And the top three separated by under half. Second, third, fourth, even separated. No, apologies. Here's the top three separated by under half a second. That lap car there is just catching me out a little bit. This fight's going to carry all the way down to turn 5, and this is going to go down to who's the last of the late breakers. Oh, well, there you go. Gross is the one. And he's got back. Second place for Malkov, but all this battling, Dane, that's allowed Shearling goodbye to come right up onto the back of him. What was a three-way fight for the lead has very quickly become a five-way fight. And I tell you what, Zubarev isn't far behind either. He could join in and fight the AMP driver and make this a six-way fight to the lead overall. And what spectacular thing that would be to see, to have an AMP driver mixing them up amongst the pros.
Yeah, it definitely would be. And Yossi Gabai improving quite a bit over the course of his iRacing Israel League career. And now in a position to be able to fight in that top 5 right up with the race leaders as Scream Gross. He's going to run a little bit wide on the exit of the carousel. Not going to cost too much time though. You can see Malkov really, they're sending it through there, and that's a little bit too wide, I think, from Reem Gross. He's going to be under threat now in towards Canada corner as they make their way down to the heavy braking zone. And the thing is with the touring cars is you can really send it in on the brakes. You can proper send it like in towards turn number 5, a prime opportunity for it. You can see just a string of Hyundais. All of the top, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's 8 cars, the top 8 cars in the race. All of them Hyundais, various models of the Hyundai, but still Hyundais the same. So yeah, doing a fantastic job up there. All the drivers seem to have settled in the same car there, it seems.
Definitely the Honda, definitely the choice car at the moment in TCRs. And TCRs just moving across to the right-hand side of the track, left-hand side of your screen there, just backing out. But behind them, we've got a fight on our hands here. Yaron versus Scher. And he's going to come out on top. Yaron round the outside, and does like we saw Malkov do just a couple of laps ago. Getting the move done all the way around the outside. There is a little bit more grip there, Dane, where you can quite often, it is actually sometimes the preferred line, especially if you're just slightly ahead. And second, the car then on the inside has to really back out. So it's a real power play of a move to not only get the move done, but also make the passes. These two are at it once more again. Gross versus Malkov as they run it in really deep to turn 5. So the track and a bit more there.
Yeah, that's the thing about Road America. You got those big old curbs on the outside, and the drivers love to abuse them, especially when overtaking or when defending as well. Just send the driver deep onto the curbs, and it can unsettle the car a bit. But like you were saying in turn number 1, the big old curb on the outside is one of the reasons why that works so well, is because it's such an open corner, especially for a first corner on the circuit. Reem Gross is going to go wide, but luckily for him, straight into the carousel, and then any advantage that Malkov would have had behind pretty much gone. The turn 1 is such a wide corner that you can really send it from the outside, carry much more speed, so that even if there is a car on your inside, they've got a much tighter line, and yeah, it just really hinders their performance. Whilst these guys have been battling, someone off in the background. How on earth have they managed to keep that out the wall? Front wheel drive.
That was Mark Zubarev there. He was getting wide, loud and leery on the outside there. And to say, the front-wheel drive car, it's a bit counterintuitive. It starts to slide. The best thing you can do is absolutely plant the throttle. It just pulls the front end back around again, and this is exactly what he's done to keep himself out of the barrier. If that had been a rear-wheel drive car, then that would have been a one-way ticket to the barrier purchase and the end of his race.
Yep, any other car on iRacing outside of touring cars and, well, I guess the Jetta, then you're in the wall. That is, that's one advantage of the front-wheel drive stuff, is that you can get away with a little bit more. Like I said, you can send it a bit harder around the course. Reem Gross in towards turn 1. Not quite defending the inside there, just doing enough to allow nowhere for Malkov to go, because you're not going to send it all the way to the inside at that corner. but he blocked off just enough of the outside, doing a little bit more of the same there, just putting his car right in the middle. That Elantra TCR car has never been wider than it is right now with Reem Gross. He's going to get bump drafted by Malkov, and now Malkov's going to look for blood. He seizes it. Down the inside and towards turn number 5 they're going to go. Through the kink at turn 4, and now through the other kink at turn 4A, and in towards turn 5 they go. Easy move, and almost left the door open for Sherling there. Sherling saw an opportunity, went for it, but Gross closed the door just in time.
I tell you what, the velocities of Malkov and Sherling really seem to coming alive. Oh, wow!
Oh.
Big incident there. That's Ventura and Galili there. Caught up. I'm not sure how they've come to blows into the braking zone, but pushing hard and, well, everyone trying to weave their way through to get through all of the carnage. Looks like they're, well, I think Galili's just going to hold on to that place there, not do too much, but we've got the replay, so I think Galili on the left-hand side of your screen, just gets a bit squirrely onto the brakes. You saw the rear end really go, maybe even might have been a little bit of netcode, and that's what careered him into Ventura.
Oh, it's all kicking off.
I think it's that. No, I thought it was Ventura once again, but it's not. It's Lachette's caught up in that, and
oh, there goes Chashashvili, I believe.
That is Chashashvili. I mean, that's not bad. It seems so pretty much down and out. He's been quietly plodding along, going about his business. Now up into 17th. Well, made that 15th actually, Dane. Oh no, they're both off into the wall.
What's happened here? It's all going off at the moment.
I mean,
someone's got some oil on the circuit.
Well, I was going to say, if we had oil within iRacing, that would completely and utterly explain it. But they both had a sympathetic accident at the same time, and yeah, they're in straight off into the barrier. A bit of a bizarre one there. But while this is going on, especially this backup for second place, Alan Day, he's just checking out the front. 1.4 second. There's the rear end of this 4-car train in this battle for second. Berlin and Gabay, they're just scrapping it out, but Sherling holding on to that 4th place. I mean, Day, he's just casually cruising off into the distance, 1.4 seconds ahead of Malkov. But I tell you what, Malkov is responding. He is taking time out of Day. You see the lap time difference there. 2 attempts on the last lap alone.
And laps 3 and 4, obviously, battling away with Reem Gross, not going to help with lap times at all. That's where the gap came from for Alon Day, and it's still decreasing. Alon Day, champion in the series in Season 2. Doing a fantastic job, of course, in the real world as well. And now they're in touring cars, still up at the front. Not surprising to anyone that's watched the series for a while, I don't think. But Yaroslav Malkov doing an incredible job of just closing right up to him. And we'll see 2 minutes to go. They're going to get one more lap. I don't think that's enough time.
But you say that, Dane, but he's taken nearly 4 attempts. Malkov's taken nearly 4 attempts out of, well, I bet that the 3 attempts is just Dane's just plucking out an extra attempt there against Malkov. But this could be a little bit closer, but then it's the perennial thing of, you know, catching someone is one thing, but getting past them is another. I do believe it's a late great Murray Walker that said that, and I think Malkov, like you say, maybe could just do with one more lap, and I think then Day would look incredibly vulnerable. This is going to be interesting. It's going to go right down to the line. I mean, as you say, when you said, oh, this is going to have one more lap left, I looked up at the clock and didn't expect to see that we've only got, what, 1 minute left. I'm not sure where that's gone. We've had so much action and so much excitement out on track.
Yep, and with a circuit with a lap time that's around 2 minutes 20, yeah, the time does go very quickly because you only think about it in laps. You don't really think about it in time. We have done 6 laps. We're on to lap 7. It will be the final lap as Barney waves his white flag around like a crazy person up there in the odd flag stand. Yossi Gabay going to try and make a move for 4th place on Michael Sherling. I don't think he's going to have any luck. Actually gets a fantastic exit off of turn 1. Probably going to have a look. They go through turn 2 in towards turn 3 now. And Tim, I don't know if you've noticed, I love pointing out the corner numbers here at Road America, but just because they are so ridiculous.
Oh yes, they are. They are. There's now a lot of them like we're heading through turn 4 right now, is because of motorbikes. And because they have to take, it's exactly the same with the Red Bull Ring as well, where
Yeah, not turn 2, which is actually a turn.
Exactly. Because the motorbikes have to take it as a turn, that's why turn 2, the kink, as you head up the hill towards Remus, which is officially turn 3, but a lot of people say it's turn 2. That's the reason why it's counted as a corner, even though it's just more of a kink, and it's exactly the same story here in America, so Road America.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, here in America is a bit of a generalization. Oh, no. Sherling's gone off. Sherling's gone deep even. On the brakes, bit of a lockup, bit of a slide. The back end stepped out on him a bit. And 5th place is all that Michael Sherling will get out of this first race. Malkov has closed the gap again a little bit. The thing is that even though it is the last lap, had he caught up by this point, it's still an unlikely overtaking opportunity in towards Canada corner. I don't think there's quite enough time that you're spending in the draft of the car in front to be able to make a big send, but still chance of a mistake from Alon, so definitely not over until he crosses the line. Tricky section of corners to finish the lap as well. Got this uphill blind left kink that is sort of flat out, but only if you extend the run off a little bit, and that's really bumpy out there as well, and it can unsettle the car and all sorts of different things. And then a really awkward right-hander to end off the lap. You want to get on the power as early as possible, but that corner is so much tighter than it seems. Up and over the crest then. And Barney waves the checkered flag. Alon Day is going to win race number 1 of the meeting. He takes round 5 of the championship. Malkov possibly could have had the pace to beat him, but a battle for a couple of laps with Reem Gross took him out of contention for that one. And it is Reem Gross that finishes in 3rd place. Yossi Gabai is going to finish in 4th, and makes a little bit of contact with Michael Sherling, who finishes in 5th after that pass on the final lap that we just saw a few moments ago. Super ends up taking the win in the AM category. And just watching a couple more drivers cross the line here now. And, well, that was very much truly dominated by Hyundais. Both Hyundais, it must be said, the Veloster and the Elantra, both of them being used in pretty much equal quantities. But it was still just Hyundais.
It's a sea of Hyundais. The highest non-Hyundai, that's a bit of a tongue twister for you, was the 8th place Honda of Shakirov. Other than that, we've got lone Audi in the field. That was Mizari, of course. He was into the pits after that collision he had early on that put paid to his race. But, of course, now with this top 10 inverted grid for race 2, this is where it puts the cat amongst the pigeons. We've seen it all season long, and I'm sure this is going to be no different whatsoever here, Dane. It's going to be tricky. It's going to be a bit hairy on these first few opening laps as the fastest drivers look to come through, and, well, it's going to be interesting.
What I'm looking at now, Tim, is Reuven Chatterfili. Obviously, pole position. We know he is the fastest driver, at least from qualifying. We know he's the fastest driver. Just let's assume he is the fastest driver at least. He has now only got 5 cars between him and Alon Day, the race winner in race number 1. So theoretically, and yes, maybe you can say that the bottom 5 of that top 10 are all very similarly paced. But theoretically, he could get past those couple of cars and he won't have a massive gap to the fastest cars from the first race. So he may be in contention for some good points here. We might just be able to see him grab onto the back of a train of cars and make something happen in the second race. I think he did have technical issues and had to miss the race start. He didn't blink out of the session, but he did just exit the grid. He just took his way out of the grid, and yeah, he couldn't start the race. Grid up on the screen, top 10 have been inverted from race number 1, which is why race winner Alon Day is down in 10th. Everybody else is in the positions that they finished the last race in. The lights are on screen. We are ready to go racing for race number 2 of the evening. And we are green for the second time. John Chico on that pole position. Edan Sher alongside. And it's a pretty good start from Edan Sher. And he's going to almost try and make it side by side. We know that the outside line into turn 1 can be beneficial. Is he going to be able to make use of it? They're separated by about a 10th into the first braking zone. He backs out. John Chico leads us into the first couple of corners. They're side by side a bit further back. It's Michael Sherling and Dmitry Shkerov in towards turn number 3 now. And it's Sherling on that outside. He's going to get a better run off the corner, and he should be able to make that one stick. He's up into 3rd position already. Further back, not too much has changed in the top 10, but further back, Ruven Chachishvili gained 4 places. He's already up into 11th and is now on the back of Michael Simon, who's going to try and get past as well. Reemgras, Alon Day, they've swapped places. And a couple of other drivers moving all over the place as well. Yaroslav Malkov, all the way to the back. He's out of the race.
Benedate, that was the Honda just in the middle.
Oh, what's going on?
Wow.
4 wide.
It was the Honda there of, I didn't quite catch who it was. I think it might be Sherkov, potentially. Just caught out in the midfield. Oh no, there's a more collision in the background there once again. Wow, he said it'd be a bit fast and frantic and incident filled as well. Yes, there's a bit of argy-bargy going on in the background there. Definitely the Audi of Mazzari involved in that one. A few disgruntled drivers, and it's been it's all been all about big wins and losses here in this opening lap with Isaac. He's up 7 places in the Simple Bar to get up into 10th.
What is going on here? This driver's being forced onto the grass. They're making contact. They're still making contact. What a send up the inside. Someone's going into the wall hard on the outside. Oh, and he's turned around as well. Oh, and
no,
that suspension's dead as well. Bang into the wall. That was Ido Isaac, I believe.
Oh no, Isaac after a blinding start. He was up 7 places, Dane. That's outgutting is that one. You know, couldn't have asked for a much better, you know, first half of the opening lap, and then all of a sudden run down to Canada corner. It all goes wrong, and we've got 6 drivers into the pits on the opening lap. Shirkov, Zubrev, Ruven Chachishvili in the pits as well. Isaac, Mazzari, and Mishalam as well. Oh, wow. Go side by side and run down to turn 1. This long start-finish straight. And this is going to be interesting between these two, and it could go either way.
Yeah, what an abysmal third meeting, rounds 5 and 6 for Ruven Chachishvili. And I thought I didn't see anything happen in the top 10, and I didn't. Yaroslav Malkov disconnect due to packet loss. That is very sad. Wasn't able to take the start to begin with. There's contact being made between Michael Sherling and Alon Day there, just on the outside. They're going 3 wide, and Reem Gross has taken advantage and swooped past both of them. Now doing a little bit of weaving there alongside. And who's come to join the party? It's Yaron, who's going side by side with Alon Day. They're going to go 2 by 2 into turn number 5 as they go side by side for the race lead up ahead. A little bit of contact was made again in towards turn 5, and Reem Gross is dropping back all the way back. What's happening here? It's all chaos is happening in this feature race.
Well, it started all the way back at turn 1. Yaron was forced wide out onto the gravel. Also, that was a bit of redemption for getting back past Gross and up into 4th, but it's what started all the argy-bargy, the pushing and shoving in this pack here, all over 3rd place overall. I mean, the run down to turn 5 between the top 2 side by side, that was more an orderly affair, whereas these guys, the gloves are fully off. Well, I don't think they were even on in the first place to come off. As we see Sherling here versus Day, that last place on the podium overall, and while they're bumping, they're squeezing, and Sherling off the track there. See Yaron, he's taken full advantage of this here. He sneaked right up the upside. He says, "Thank you very much, I'll have a love some of that." Oh, they're all like, it's like a motorway accident, bumper to bumper, concertina effect cutting in here. And Yaron, whereas not the best start to the lap, forced out onto the gravel, as now it's back to pretty much where it started. 3rd in pro and 4th overall, but I mean, Shez, the app driver is still holding on to that 2nd overall.
You know, Tim, I've been watching a couple of videos recently because I'm driving my way up to or down to Le Mans for the 24-hour race later this year.
Likewise.
And I've been watching to figure out how to drive in France. I think what I've just seen is perfect practice, and all I need to do is re-watch that to figure out how to drive in France, because that's what I've seen in all of my YouTube videos, that they like a little bit of bumping. That was a little bit more than a bit of bumping, but the point still stands. They're trying to go side by side again. I don't know if I should say this or not, but I think things have calmed down slightly.
Well, you say that. Here at the Israel iRacing League, Dane, you know it's never a moment away from it all kicking off again. And well, could it potentially happen here between our top two? Day coming along in for the fight, closing right up onto the back of Scher. Well, Day pulling alongside now the drag race up the hill, and Day on the inside. Surely this is going to be for second, and move done. Yes, it is. Yaron trying to sneak through, but not able. Actually, yeah, he's going to get the move done. No. Well, there you go. I said it was definitely a moment away from kicking off, and yeah, point proven. I think definitely there from Gabay and Gross.
Well, he gets the move done, just forces him off the circuit. That's one way of getting the move done, I guess. There's no grip on grass on iRacing at all, so even if you're in a front-wheel drive touring car, I mean, somebody in the field seemed to disagree with that and just somehow, just by pure willpower alone, just got themselves out of the barrier on the outside of the kink. But that was a bit of a mistake from John Chico, and that was a mistake he did not need to make, because now, who's on his back? It's Alon Day, and if there's one person on the grid that you don't want chasing you down towards Canada Corner, it's probably Alon Day, because you know he's got every chance of making the move stick. Gets a little bit of a Schumacher squeeze as well in there. They're going to go side by side for the race lead. A little bit of banging. Not too much this time, though. A reasonable amount of banging. And Alon Day finally gets the move done.
Well, you see, it was really, really clever. He knew if he could hold on around the outside there at Canada Corner, it would give him the inside for the next corner as well. The speed that Yaron just carried through turn 14, the final turn. He's ended up at the back of Chico, but they're all banging and squabbling over the same inches of tarmac as we head up the hill across the start-finish line. And that is how close Yaron is to Chico. This could all happen into turn 1. It's already happening. We haven't even got there.
And who's that? Scherling just behind, trying to make a couple of moves there. Did so very, very well. And someone's off in the grapple. Someone's off. It's Chico, and he's going to drop back as well. He's going to lose a couple of positions. Goodbye, says Michael Scherling. Oh, and he's gone up the inside of Yaron as well. Yaron's going to get forced back as well. It seems every single corner, the person on the outside gets a little bit of contact and then just starts dropping. Look at this train we're going to have down the back straight and almost contact now as Goodbye tries to find a way past Yaron.
This is touring cars. It's more like bumper cars as they all try and maneuver and jockey for position, and they're just catching, you know, the rear end of their car on the car that behind them is coming through like a freight train. As you just see Yaron and Chico banging doors on the exit at turn 5. Yaron, he is in full attack mode right now, Dave.
What are we watching? This is 8 minutes into the race. This is the stuff you see on lap 1, not lap 8 or lap 4 even. This is insane stuff. It's awesome. As long as no one's being put out the race. It's a bit optimistic from Yaron. Yaron's going to drop all the way to the back of that train and give a little bit of fresh air to everything, I think. Give everyone a little bit of space to try and figure things out between themselves. I say that. Here comes Jossi Goodbye. A 10th.5 back on Reem Gross. And has got a run. You can see the delta is slowly coming down. Through the kings they go. Are they all going to keep it on the circuit? Yes, yes. Everybody's sort of kept it on the circuit for now, at least. A couple of wheels dipped into the grass, but that never hurt anybody. As they make their way down to Canada Corner. Oh, we're going to see a lunge. A little bit deep on the brakes, but no contact made, no moves made either. So everything starting to relax a little bit. Really Stern making a lovely move up the inside, given plenty of space by Tal Stern. That's for that's for 4th and 5th in the AM category. Allows a bit of a switch back there almost on the exit. Maybe didn't get quite the best exit, but the 36 car is now firmly in front. And oh dear, are we going to have this all over again?
Oh, I get the feeling this is going to end in tears for someone. Well, I think as we've all told as children, calm down or someone's going to get hurt, and you get the feeling that's going to happen between these three. They're bumper to bumper. Well, realistically, say three. You see in the background there, Yaron and Simon banging doors on the entry into turn 1. Well, I think even if we had 100 square miles of time, they would still be fighting over the same inch here. It's been absolutely frantic. Like you say, with that 10 minutes, we're 2/3 into race 2. We've got 5 minutes left to go here, Dane, and well, they're having yet another go, another squabble on the front through the rain slate, through turn 4, the run down to 5, and this could go anywhere. They got all the contacts on the entry.
Yaron's trying to find a way past, and in doing so, there's contact. There it is. Yaron is turned all the way around, and Yaron is going to have to rejoin. I think going to rejoin behind quite a few of the amateur drivers as well. Very unfortunate stuff there for Yaron, but it was always going to happen at some point. Not too sure what happened. I didn't see it until it was already happening, but certainly gets a little bit of a pinch from the driver on the outside, and around they go. We'll see a replay of it.
So it was Simone who was dueling with, and you can see him lunge to the inside there, trying to be the last of the late breakers, but the door got closed on him. And there's contact. And around we went, and Simon as well, he's got terminal damage. He's headed to the pits. Well, I'm going to have to get the black marker of doom out again, and that's another name crossed off the list. We've had now, well, I'm going to have to count these up. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Off
5,
field.
6, 7, 8, 9 drivers all in the pits, and most of those, it's terminal, and they've, well, all of them, it's terminal and they've retired.
A little bit too much rubberness racing going on out there at the moment, but this guy don't mind a bit. The car's looking nice and clean. Little bit of a moment on the exit there, careful. But 3.6 second lead, 3.7 seconds now, pulling away from Mikael Schörling just behind as well. And not a care in the world. Alonde crosses the line. There will be 2 laps to go, I believe, if my maths is correct. I think it is. As he makes his way now on towards turn number 1. Sets the fastest lap of the race as well, just for good measure, because why not? Sets a 2:21.2. It was a good second quicker than anybody else on that last lap that I've seen so far. Almost, in fact, 2 seconds quicker than most of the drivers on the track still. So he's not hanging about. He's still pushing quite hard. As we see a move looking to be made towards turn number 1. Oh, and the car's gone off in front of him. That's Lachette's. Sweet Lachette's makes his way off the circuit at turn 1 and has to give up that position to Mazuz in front of him, unfortunately. Very easy thing to do there. Only the cones as braking markers, and I don't know about you, Tim, but for me, I feel like those cones move because every time I try and use them as braking references, everything all goes wrong.
I'm glad I'm not the only one. Sometimes you think it's yourself and you're going a bit mad, and you know, it's only, especially when you see these aliens just fly through these corners and you seem to be doing everything exactly the same to them, and they're 2, 3, 4 seconds faster than you per lap. But I'm glad I'm not the only one who seems to have that fate. But a bit of a difference here, Dane. We have got Honda up in amongst the pigeons that are
yes, we do.
The Hyundais. Chico still holding on to that 5th place, and likewise Mazuz currently he is in 12th overall, 6th in AM. And the other Honda that is still left remaining, that's become this absolute war of attrition here at Road America.
Yeah, it certainly has. Unfortunately, it spread the grid out quite a bit as well. It's the closest battle that we have out on the circuit at the moment. Yossi Goodbye, quite a bit of overspeed. Not able to make anything happen there. We're going to go all the way inside the bumper. Novrim Gross just in front as well. Battling over 3rd place though, so some good points on offer here. If he can make a move stick, he's going to have 1 more lap to try and make something happen. A little bit of contact into the final corner, a little bit of a bumper to bumper, but nothing comes of it. Yossi Goodbye still in that 4th position. We'll see what Reem Gross can do in terms of defense as Alonde crosses the line. Another fastest lap of the race for him as well. 2:21.2, gains more time on everybody else in the field. And he's going to take the white flag. Final lap of the race for everyone once they pass that start-finish line. It's to the outside for Yossi Goodbye, and he can't quite make it all the way around. Can he try and get a good exit though and look in towards turn 3? I probably wouldn't make a move here, but Yossi Goodbye does the same. Backs out, tries to get a better exit. Ooh, that was a bit naughty from Reem Gross. I think he just tapped the brakes on the exit, just to give Yossi Goodbye a little bit of a fright, maybe to make him tap the brakes as well. Lose some of the momentum down this back straight. We'll see now into turn 5 if there's any move to be made.
Well, it's going to be close between these two. They're both in not only Hyundais, but both the Elantras, so identical equipment. This comes down to who is the better driver over the course of the next lap, who's going to claim that last place on the podium. But, well, more fights going on further down the field. Ventura, sure, there's trading places and trading paint as well on the exit out of 6, and looks like it's going to continue on all the way through 7. Lantra versus Veloster. So Veloster's going to come out on top with that inside line share, just holding on to that 6th place overall. Great racing from the AM driver. Well, of course, this is for the lead overall in AM as well, let's not forget.
Yep, and not too far up the road, you can see him there, John Chico. If he makes a mistake, this could end up being for 5th place overall too, so plenty for these drivers to be battling over. As it looks like Yossi Gabai just a little bit in front, a couple seconds up the road in front, is not going to be close enough to make a move, as Toma Ventura runs a little bit wide, and that probably kills off any opportunity to make a move for the lead in the AM category. Meanwhile, coming through the final couple of corners, haven't really seen a massive amount of them through this race, especially not the latter half of it, because everything calmed down after all of the huge incidents that we had over the first few laps. Lap 7. 16 minutes into this race, Barney's going to wave the checkered flag. And Alonde is going to cross the line again to win at Road America in the Touring Cars Season 7 of the iRacing Israel League. Round number 6 goes to Alonde. And a pretty much perfect meeting for him as well. 3rd place in qualifying, probably going to say if he does end up coming down for a chat afterwards, he's going to say qualifying could have been better. I know he is, but not too much to complain about after taking both the wins. That's where most of the points are, at least anyway. I'm seeing a wheel rolling down the circuit in the background. Yes. I don't know if you saw that in the shot as well. Now there's a car upside down too. There's more wheels rolling away from the circuit. I think somewhat of a demolition derby is happening there at the finish line.
Yeah, there was a big incident. You just might have caught it right in the background of the camera shots as they crossed the line. They all decided to pile into one another and the pit wall as well. And yeah, there was bits of bodywork and tyres flying everywhere across the track. And well, I think it probably, that in one image, summarises what we've seen here in race 2 quite nicely.
Well, here are your results then for the second race of the event. Alonde, of course, taking the win by 5.8 seconds in the end. That's a pretty commanding victory, especially considering only a couple of laps actually in the lead of the race. Michael Shirley in 2nd place, and then Reem Gross and Yossi Gabai. It was close. Yossi did try his best. Couldn't quite get past Reem on this occasion. John Chico holding off from that pole position and have managed to stay in one piece throughout all of that carnage that we saw, and managed to get 5th place off of this race. So great job from John, and I'm sure John will be very happy with that one. Ilan Shah takes the win in the AM category. Toma Ventura in 2nd, Really Sir in 3rd. They finished 6th, 7th, and 8th overall. Then Nada Vieron in 9th place after just getting turned near the middle of the race in towards turn number 5. Tal Stern in 4th place, Bertie Galeli 5th place, Ofer Mazes in 6th place, then Svi Lachette and Draw last. That rounds out the amateur field. Michael Simon as well, 3 laps down, and then a couple of drivers not able to make it all the way to the finish. We've got Salui in 16th, Chachashvili, pretty much an abysmal meeting for Reuven there, unfortunately. Qualified on pole position, pretty sure had technical issues on the starting grid and had to abort. And couldn't take the grid for race number 1. Did it very well to come back all the way up into 15th and then up into 11th at the beginning of the 2nd race, but of course that didn't quite go to plan either. Amir Shalam in 18th place, similar story for Amir, and then Zubarev, Shkerov, Malkov, very unfortunate for Malkov as well, really quick in the first race, finished in that 2nd position, and then unfortunately couldn't take the grid for the 2nd race because of a packet loss. So yeah, very unfortunate stuff, just disconnected there. Ido Isaac in 22nd, Nir Mizrahi in 23rd. That rounds out the grid, the field results for the 2nd race there. Do we have any drivers waiting for a bit of a chat? No, we do not have any drivers that want to give us a chat. That's a bit of a shame at the moment, but Tim, I want to ask you.
Go for it.
What do you think?
Wow.
Oh,
I think that clearly they're worn out after what has been some frantic and That's racing, but however, I've just managed to grab for you our winner here, Alon Day, for a bit of a chat with you, Dane.
Alon, welcome back to the interview room here. And well, I mean, it could have been slightly better for you today, but not very much. You did pretty much a perfect perfect race weekend here.
Yeah, I just where's the broom? That's a clean swipe. Compare the fact that I just started practice this morning. I'm pretty satisfied with the results. Also, I was a bit lucky with the Ruven Chacha that I don't know, something happened to his steering wheel and yeah, the rest of the guys, the quick guys, that something happened to them. So I was a bit lucky today, but that's part of racing, you know. Sometimes you need that.
I would love to ask you, in that second race specifically at the beginning, the first few laps was absolute mayhem. How did you make it through there in one piece?
I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, that was. I knew it's gonna be tough. But yeah, I did. I just tried to stay in one piece. I knew that a couple of really slow drivers are starting at the front, and it's gonna be a big chaos. Uh, yeah, I made it out without any major damage. I think I do have some couple X4, but uh, overall it was good for me.
And just thinking ahead a couple of weeks, are you going to be around for the round next in the next round of the championship, 2 weeks time?
Yes, I think I
Before
just.
the first round of Euro NASCAR, I believe.
I think it's a day after now. Oh no, wait, it's a week before. Yeah, I don't know.
Both of us
I
should
don't know
know.
my own
Neither of us
schedule.
do.
I don't know my own schedule.
And a commentator, and between you can't decide when you need to turn up. We're going to be a week early or a week late, and no in betweens. By the
One of
sounds
us will be there.
Maybe, perhaps.
As long as it's anyway, it's Monday, so even if it's the same week of the Euro NASCAR, is still gonna be here.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, but I think it's a week before. I think it's a week before. Yeah, I will be here again. I think I'm leading the championship if I take out the Joker races that in the points. So yeah, I want to win this season and this championship, and go into the Euro NASCAR with feeling good, feeling in shape.
Yeah, awesome. So that round is at Summit Point, which is an interesting circuit, very tight and twisty, not a whole lot of space for overtaking, so I think qualifying would be quite important there. Are you expecting more of the same chaos that we saw in this last race there?
Yeah, for sure. Summit Point is like yeah, you just described that. And especially with the TCR, I think it's gonna be like people are gonna bump each other, especially in the tight section of the track. Yeah, definitely qualifying gonna be super important. But as we learned, as I learned through the races here, it doesn't really matter where you qualify. It's matter how you race your racecraft. So. Yeah, doesn't matter really the speed. You just need to place yourself in the right position and fight the best you can, and be smart and think tactically and not just speed.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure now you're going to go and double check which weekend you're
Yeah,
starts on.
definitely.
But yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic to speak to you once again. Yeah, great job in the races today, first, so couldn't do any better than that. Good luck for your practice for 2 weeks' time at Summit Point, and we'll see you very soon.
Yep. See you next race, and thank you guys for everything, and thanks to everybody that put this championship up again, and all the sponsors, Grip and URD and everybody. It's always fantastic to race against Israelis and see this championship growing each race. More and more drivers are coming in, and I think it's fantastic. And you guys are doing an amazing job with the commentating. So yeah, see you in 2 weeks, and thank you very much.
Well, thank you, and yeah, we'll definitely look forward to seeing you then. So that was Alon Day then, your race winner in both races here today. And we have got one more driver. They came in slowly, but they did eventually arrive, and he's standing by with Tim.
Yes, I've got Yossi Gabay with us now. Yossi, we described it in commentary as being like a war of attrition out there. What was it like being inside the car in the middle of the mayhem and the chaos that was happening out on track?
Yeah, actually the second race was totally chaos, and it was totally packed. The meet in the from 1 to 10, I think it was very crowded and a lot of mess over there.
Definitely, it was definitely a lot of bumping the whole way, especially down the second straight on the run down to turn 5. I mean, what was your while you were in the middle of all that action and all those cars? What was your tactics that you were trying to play out for the first few laps of the race?
I tried basically to go out on the break and then to switch back inside, but every time, because it was pack of cars, I couldn't find my way in. I think I got it one chance, got between two cars, but most of the time it was very tough.
It certainly looked like that out from the cameras while we were watching during the race. Now, obviously, fourth place, got to be happy with that one in race 2. Are you looking for maybe one better next time out when we visit Summit Point in a couple of weeks' time?
Yeah, I sure hope so. I almost got a podium in this race. I had a good battle with Raheem Gross, but eventually he got the superiority at the end. But I think I was close to pass him on the last lap.
Yes, you're incredibly close, weren't you? It was definitely an intriguing battle that we were watching out on play out on screen. Before we let you go, Yossi, anyone you want to give a shout out to at all or give thanks to?
Actually, this is a pretty sad week for me because last week my cousin passed away. So I would like to devote this race to him. His name is Rafael Baliti. So this is for you, man.
Oh, that's a lovely tribute, and our thoughts and prayers here at Apex TV are with yourself and your family at this well
Yeah,
challenging time for you. And yeah, they're definitely a cracking race result in honor and memory of your cousin there. And yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks' time, where hopefully you take a step up onto the podium.
yeah, I hope so too. Thank you.
No worries. That's it. Yossi, goodbye there. Well, Dane, a touching little tribute there from Yossi, where he's dedicated that race to the sad passing of his cousin. But as you were saying, really tough in the midfield there, and well, we saw it. It was literally like a war zone at times out there. Cars all
Yep.
over the track, having to force their way through. Really intriguing. And obviously, next time when we visit Summit Point, it's like I compare it as America's answer to Alton Park in the UK. It's like it's tight national circuit with in places only really one line through it, but it's still quite a fast circuit, quite technical, a few off-camber corners, and well, it can be a little bit struggle to pass, but if anyone can make passes, it's these guys. They'll get their elbows out. Well, they'll sharpen their elbows, undoubtedly, and they'll squeeze through gaps that you wouldn't even imagine of available and probably aren't even available. They'll make them happen, and I think it's definitely going to be one interesting race meeting, to say the least.
The disrespect to Alton Park to compare it to Summit Point is quite incredible. In my personal opinion, Alton Park, one of the greatest circuits in the world.
I second that.
Summit Point, not
Well,
so much.
no, I mean, in terms of its width and its
Oh, yeah,
fast-flowing nature,
I do
not,
see what you mean.
and needless to say, it doesn't have a Alton Park as well has, for me, the best name for a corner in the world in terms of its history behind it, being Knickerbrook. But I'll enlighten you as to why it's called that next time out.
Oh, I actually cannot wait to hear that. Just
It's a
like
cracking story.
Oh, you've done it. No, I wanted to say, I can't wait to hear that, just like I can't wait to watch the Rickmatek World Challenge on Apex TV later tonight, but you ruined it.
Oh, sorry, I've ruined your segue there to what's coming up here on Apex
Linus
Racing
Tech
TV.
Tips would be proud. But anyway, round 7 of their championship at Road America again. If you love Road America, then you can go and watch that as well. We've got more of it for you. That's going on at midnight UTC tonight. So whatever that is in your time zone, for us in the UK, that would be 1 a.m. So I'm going to have a late night watching that one, but I will be there. Then, of course, tomorrow we've got the ARL GT3 Trophy. That returns round 5 of their season. Guess where?
It might be Road America.
It is Road America, and that's round 5 of their season. That kicks off at 7 p.m. UTC. Then on Wednesday, we've got the Ray Esports Racing League round 8 of their championship. Unfortunately, not at Road America, although that would have been fantastic. It is instead down south. It is at Circuit of the Americas in Texas. So same country, but they're still not quite the same. That's on Wednesday at 1 a.m. UTC, so Tuesday evening if you're in Europe, Wednesday in the morning if you're a little bit further east than that. Then we've got F3, the Apex Racing Academy F3 series, round 7 at Phillip Island, but that's a little bit later on in the week. That's this weekend on Saturday. So plenty more action coming up still on Apex Racing TV for you to catch up on. Also make sure you do check out our social medias, Twitter, Facebook and Instagram as well. You can catch some highlights of there, some funny clips that we love to send our social media gang. We're probably going to send a couple from this race over as well, just because there have been a couple of interesting parts of this race, let's put it that way. But yeah, we definitely do love to send over some highlight clips. So if you do love to see funny or just fantastic racing clips, then do make sure to go and check out our social media as well. But that's it from myself, from Tim and from John up in the commentary booth, and we will see you next time, 2 weeks time from Summit Point Raceway. Cannot wait to see how that works out for rounds 8, 7 and 8 of the championship here in the iRacing Israel League Season 7. We'll see you then.